How many of you are glad to be alive today? Let's cheer that we are glad to be alive. How many of you are excited that today we have an opportunity to get smart? I'm a second generation diversity consultant, so my father was a pioneer in the field of diversity, and my mom was a preacher. And so you're going to kind of catch the intersection, I'm sorry, of a preacher and a consultant, oh my God. But I know that I was born to do the work that I'm doing. Our country's in the midst of ideological civil war. And the people who have the answers are in this room. When I first started doing this work, I thought my job was to be like a diversity ghostbuster. I felt like I was supposed to go into organizations and sort of gun down the racist, sexist, bigoted homophobes. That's I began to recognize that if I was going to help move the needle in this conversation, I was going to have to become more transparent around my own limitations and my own bias. What we have to do is we have to be detectives in many ways within our institutions to understand what people are going through and the stresses that they're under. And we have to have solutions that are people-centered. So I believe that we have to prepare ourselves to minimize backlash. Jim, the last time we were together, we did a session. He said, an older gentleman came up to me about 77 years old. And he says, I tell you, Jim, he says, I thought this was going to be the worst session of the whole 2 days. Black guy up there, he's probably going to tell us about all his problems, put us all on the guilt trip. He says, I was on the verge of not coming. And I love people, man. I love them. He said, but I tell you, Jim, and you can ask Jim after, he said this was the best thing of the 2 days. He said, the only thing I hate is that all my buddies went to the bar. They sat it out. I get that. Because the brand hasn't been turned. Come to the workplace. That ought to be a place of dignity where we are valued because of who we are as unique individuals. There's nobody else like us on earth. We should be included in meaningful ways so that we literally can take that which we've been preparing for a lifetime and we can deliver that to the organization. And then we need to be respected. Techniques that will measurably reduce your unconscious bias. People have to spend time trying to gauge the perspective from another person's position. Their biases go down. Their empathy goes up. And not just with that group, but across all kinds of diverse groups. Organizations should be investing their money in this work because of what? There's gold in them their heels. There it is. That's why we do this work. Because there's money. I'm looking around the room, man. There's money. Boatload of money right here in the room. And that's not talking about what you make. That's talking about the gold that you have within you. That it's our job to try to figure out how to mine out of you all the great things that you have to offer. 2 million people leave companies each year due to unfairness. At a cost of $64 billion, that's a B, I promise you this. And none of us individually has the answers. Came up with something called the 3 C's of respect. It all boils down to our ability to communicate respect, our ability to collaborate in respectful ways, and our ability to demonstrate to people that we care. Thank you. I love you.